So this audience, really, medium-sized businesses looking to grow. We've got a number of people, and I just wanted to have a chat because I believe success leaves clues, right? Massive believer in that. And I want to talk to you today about what are some of the things that you see some of the great businesses that you're starting to help. What do they have in common and what are they doing? Because it's real easy to ask, oh, what are they not doing? But what actually are they doing?
Yeah. So the first thing, it starts with the mindset of the business owner. That is an insatiable curiosity, wanting to learn and wanting to improve and grow. Because without a growth mindset, you're going to stay stuck doing the same thing.
Yep.
So it's figuring out what are those self-limiting beliefs that you may have as a business owner that you either need to solve or overcome. And you can overcome them in different ways. It might be being in an environment where there's other business owners who are where you want to be or who are one or two steps ahead, and you're like, oh shit, that's possible. I can do that.
Yep.
And then it's about how do you implement and execute best practice of what you want to do. So you can either bake a cake and give it a crack yourself, or you can follow Gordon Ramsay's recipe that's going to lay out all the ingredients in the right order and the process.
Yeah.
So if you follow that, you should get a similar outcome. Same with business.
Okay. So if we just go back to self-limiting beliefs, so how do I know that I'll have a self-limiting belief? Like, how do I know that something's holding me back or something's not where I think it should be? Because it's great to have a growth focused mindset, but sometimes, and I know this because I've been through this myself, you have something that's just, something's just not there. It's not working the way it should be. How do you identify that? And then how do you kind of fix it?
Absolutely. So business is a numbers game.
Yep.
Numbers tell us the story of what's working well and what's not. Where should we focus our energy and efforts for the biggest result? So you're always looking to solve what is the number one constraint in my business. So every month, our building company owners, we extract their financials out of zero. We put them through our profit analyzer, and then our coaches coach them one-on-one how to improve that. So it might be number of leads, conversion rate, average dollar sale, gross margin. Maybe they've got an accounts receivable problem. So we look at where are the gaps, where is the biggest constraint that if we just focus on solving that, it's going to make the most difference to the business.
Okay. Yeah. And so is it different for every business owner and at certain stages or?
Okay.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
So you identify you've got a constraint in your business around lead generation. How does that play back into self-limiting beliefs?
So you might think one of our building company owners who's actually one of our coaches now, was 3 years ago, was like, oh, social media marketing doesn't work. Our guys just come from word of mouth. And it's like, well, that's great when times are going well and there's plenty of leads. But when they're not, then you need to market harder, differentiate yourself, and be omnipresent on why people should choose you for the biggest investment of their life over anyone else.
Yeah. So hey, looking at that belief going, well, actually, is it true? It could be true. It's true in part, but if I want to go to that next level, then I have to let that belief go and actually have to test some stuff to prove that okay, social media does work. Because that, once again, success leaves clues. Other people are using it and are doing it, are having success.
Exactly. Like if you're overweight, then you just have to look at, okay, is it my diet? Is it my training? Am I in a calorie deficit? What are my macros? And then if you want, get a coach or someone one-on-one who's going to hold you accountable, give you a plan, give you a nutrition plan, watch your training, and then review you and record you every week and measure you.
Yeah.
And you're like, am I making progress? Yes or no? If you're not, then tweak one of those key variables.
Yeah. Because what gets measured gets managed, right? And
Exactly.
it's so true in marketing.
Yeah.
I really believe testing and measuring is one of the eighth wonders of the world, right? Like it's so true when it comes to, performance, especially performance marketing, but now even brand marketing as well. When you think about constraints, what are some of the ones that you when you're talking to a business owner that's the constraint, you know?
So it often manifests itself in what'll come out in our first sessions with any building company owner. They might say, cash flow is really tight, or I can't leave site because everything turns to custard.
Yeah.
I can't charge for my quotes. No one else hears, everyone does free quotes.
Yeah.
I can't hire good guys. I can't step away from site because everything turns to custard. This is a 10% town.
$10 tauranga.
Yeah, exactly. Into a tappery.
Yeah. So it's all that, once again, it's all those old beliefs of what can't be done, because and I think it's until you get around people, especially on this, why I love what you're doing with builders, is you get around people and you're actually breaking people's paradigms. You're breaking their ceilings of going, well, actually, it's one of the reasons I went to the States, because when you go to the States and I sit there with all these agencies, yep, there's some guys that are doing X, Y, Z, but then there's these other people that are doing, 10, 15, like 1 million, and like they're no different. They're no different than me.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
just have a different way of doing some stuff.
Mm.
They think a little bit differently, but when you talk to them, you're just as good. But you just haven't been you haven't seen or been around that, so you have to be in that environment, right?
Exactly.
Which is what you're doing for your builders. Yeah, how do you find the industry globally for builders? Like, obviously, it's one of those ones that rides the highs and lows. Where do you see it globally?
So every sector goes through economic cycles, and
Yep.
typically 7 to 10 years.
Yep.
So at the moment in New Zealand, we've just coming off high interest rates. Consents are down, consumer confidence is down.
Yep.
And there's less building activity, which means that you just have to market harder,
Yeah.
dial in your numbers, dial in your sales process,
Yeah.
or piss and moan and shrivel up like a little bitch and say that, it's tough out there and nobody's buying and so forth. And it's like, well, that's not a solution. And hope marketing
No.
or word of mouth is not a strategy.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people probably don't understand the power of marketing until they've invested in marketing for a year. Then they get it. Then they understand it. One of my friends, and also business, one of my clients, Mike James, who owns Novus New Zealand, Show Us Your Crack. He said to me, Scotty, you don't market for the recession, you market for the rebound. And I've never forgotten it, because the most successful customers we have are always marketing themselves, and it doesn't matter. And they'll come to us when in the harder times and say, hey, can we put the foot down now? Can we do a bit more?
Yep.
Because they understand the game, right? Like,
Dig the well before you thirst.
yeah, and everyone else is sitting on the sidelines going, oh, poor me, poor economy. Okay, so marketing. Well, what's your take on marketing? Because um, a lot of businesses and a lot of people think it's an expense. Where do you see it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely not. It's the greatest investment that you can make into your business. It is your growth engine. It allows you to be omnipresent across different channels, overcome people's concerns, because before they buy from you, they've got 4 key questions. Who are you?
Yeah.
Who's your company? Can I trust you?
Yeah.
And how specifically can you help me?
Yeah.
So marketing helps to answer all those questions. And once you have a well-known brand that's trustworthy, that helps people with, in our sector, building is the biggest investment of their life, it makes the sale so much easier. And when you've got good deal flow, you don't have to compete on price just to keep you guys busy, because you're booked out 6 to 12 months with profitable work.
I reckon that's one of the most exciting parts of marketing. When you start to see the marketing machine roll in, you get that message dialed in, you have that consistency of message, you start to have frequency of reach with people that can and want to buy from you. All of a sudden, you become so relevant in the marketplace. People start saying to us, oh, we see you everywhere, see you everywhere. And I'm like, great, because I know how many times they have to see us to know, like, and trust us. But when we start to become relevant is when they start to come in and we're on the shopping list. And I think that's everything I want for a business owner, is put yourself on the shopping list. Because if you're not on the shopping list, what's the point, right?
Exactly. There's no point being the world's best kept secret.
Yeah.
So a lot of our guys do fantastic work. They're great builders, but no one's taught them how to build a great business.
Yeah.
And they're 2 different sets of skills.
Yeah.
If you can learn how to become a great carpenter, you can learn the skills of how to become a great business owner.
Yeah. So true. And they're learnt skills, right?
Yeah.
Like, not everyone, you're like, just because, in other words, I guess that's one of the things I want to get across. You can learn this stuff, right? And the smart move is to learn it from someone who's doing it and helping other people. I think that's a real cool thing as well. Hey, I read on LinkedIn and I wanted to go through this because I think it's really, really good. There's gold in this and what you're about to hear. And I'm going to take Marty through this, because in 2024, there was 8 lessons that you learned in your business. And I want to unpack these because there's some real interesting stuff here for businesses right now in 2025. Number one was a compelling vision. Talk to me about that and why that is so important for a business.
Oh, it's everything. So you don't build your business, you build your team, and the team follow the systems and processes, and they build the business, because otherwise you're going to build yourself a prison.
Yeah.
So by having a compelling vision of where you're going allows you to, and showing how your team members can achieve their goals, their dreams, their vision within your ecosystem.
Yeah.
So that's allowed us to grow from, I think we had like 18 people probably 2 years ago, and we've got 75 now.
Wow.
And that's partly because we have a compelling vision
Yeah.
of being the number one business coaching company for building company owners wanting to build a business that gives them true wealth, both more money and more time. And we're now the largest business in the world that's in this space.
That's outstanding. So, like, just to unpack that, you hear the vision of you setting that, you're putting it out there, and all of a sudden you go from 18 to 75 because you're attracting,
World-class talent.
world-class talent, because they want to be part of something bigger than them themselves, but also you start attracting those clients as well that want to be part of that. Because one thing I've learned about business, and one thing I've learned about people who like success, and that is, when you taste success, you want more success, right? And that's so true.
Yep.
It's like, it's not it's not something that you definitely want to be at, and you want to get around other successful people. The coolest part about that is other successful people want to help you be successful.
Exactly.
So by having that compelling vision, you start to bring it all together.
Winning is more fun than fun is fun.
Yeah. Like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so when you're unpacking the vision for business owners, what's this kind of sort of some of the steps that people could take who are listening to this?
So it's to get clear on what's your North Star, what does success look like, and are your goals big enough to allow your team to fulfill their goals? So if you have team members that want to buy a new house, they want to pay off their mortgage, then you need to figure out, and they want to make 150 or 200 grand, then you have to work out, how do you give them a role that allows them to make 150 to 200 grand if they're currently only on, say, 100?
Okay.
And you have to work out, is it bonus based on sales? Is it compensation based on joint venture partners? Is it brand awareness? Is it how do you enlarge their role to give them motivation? Because people don't leave companies, they leave jobs or roles or founders where there's no vision, no future for them, and they run out of runway.
Yeah, okay. So making sure you understand your people and what they're trying to achieve, and then giving them that room and that to grow inside. Very, very
Absolutely.
cool. Okay, so that comes down to the number two, which was, build leaders inside your business.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
So we're now a finalist in Best Place to Work in New Zealand for between 50 to 149 people. And a big part of that is allowing our team, our management team, to build leaders below them. So we encourage them to own the outcome. So they need to be able to own the outcome, and then us to get out of their way, but still have the KPIs, the feedback loop, and the numbers to show them, are they on track? So every meeting with us starts with data. It's black and white.
Okay.
Are you on track or off track? And what are you doing to solve the red dials that are off track? And then they are basically systemizing themselves out of the day-to-day.
Nice.
And then they're bringing in, so now we're at the second layer of management. So our sales manager, for example, he's got a sales manager below him, and now we're just recruiting a North America sales manager.
Nice.
So it's where can they grow? How can they grow and elevate?
Yep.
By helping the company grow and elevate. And that's by building the systems and processes that allows for them to elevate. And it's called Delegate to Elevate.
Nice. We use something pretty similar. We use EOS, and we're using that program.
Yep.
And our thing for the year is Thrive in 25, own it and elevate it. And really getting people to own their roles, but then elevate those roles. And it's amazing when you start to empower people around that, okay, this is your role now and you really have to own it. But here's what I want you also to do is elevate it. Where can you see some ways to elevate it?
Absolutely.
And it's very cool to see when people start, I'm a massive believer, employ good people, get out of their way, employ the best people you can, get out of the way and give them the option, to really take it to the next level.
Uh,
It's very, very cool when you see it starting to happen.
Yeah, a great tool that everyone could use today is if you encourage your team to think like founders, and there's a simple tool called PSR. So problem, solutions, recommendation. So rather than people dumping a monkey on your back or another problem, ask them to come to you with the problem defined very clearly.
Yeah,
The
nice.
concrete truck's not going to show up today at 3 o'clock. Okay, great. Solutions. What are 3 potential solutions that they could do? So number 1, we could call them, see if they can come at 5:30. Number 2, we could ring another concrete company.
Yep.
Or number 3, we can just reschedule it till tomorrow, but we've got all these sub-trades on site.
Brilliant. Okay.
So then they're going to come with their recommendation and go, great, I'm going to get on the phone, call John, and because he owes me a favor, and see if he can get here at 4:30.
Perfect.
So you're encouraging autonomy, leadership, critical thinking, and then you're trusting their judgment. The more often they do that,
Yeah.
that you're building leaders that can solve problems without everyone coming to you.
I think having people trust that they know that you trust their judgment, and I think that's a massive one for people. No one.
Trust,
Yeah,
but verify.
yeah, yeah, and also I think one of the things I always say is, well, what do you think? Like obviously, we're not building robots. What do you think? Because the other way is, and you see this in the corporate world a lot. Well, just do this, this, and this, and like. And that doesn't build a team.
No.
That has autonomy. Mate, this is outstanding.
Like a great saying is, if you've got something that you think is going to be 100% successful and it's your decision, your action, versus one of your team brings something that you think's got 80% chance of succeeding, you're far better to go with their 80% chance because they're going to own it. It's their idea. You're building and empowering them.
Yeah.
And they're going to do everything to make their decision, their course of action become a success.
Yeah. And you build that muscle. And I think that's one of the things, if you understand, you build this muscle inside these people that then they don't come to you next time because they've figured it out themselves.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden that flows down to because they start teaching their teams, their people what to do. Okay. Number 3 was focus on your number 1 constraint. We kind of talked about this, but if a business owner is listening to this, how do they find their number 1 constraint inside their business? What do they got to do? Is there a few things that they've got to work through?
Yep. So 2 key things that you should be tracking every day, every week, every month in your business is number 1, the inputs. So the key performance indicators, KPIs. So that might be number of leads, conversion rate, average dollar sale, and then your outputs. So your outputs are your financials, where you're at in terms of revenue, gross profit margin, overheads, and then net profit margin. Are we on track? Which one's off track? And then you dig into that. So your gross margin might be sitting at 20%, and that's the ideal target for a building company typically.
Mm-hmm.
But you might have 3 projects on the go that are sitting at 22 and one that's sitting at 14.
Okay.
So then we need to dig in. What's going on with the one at 14? What's the project manager doing wrong? A forecast versus actual labor hours on track? Are they capturing variations? Why is that one off track?
Nice. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he's been in the building game a long time, and he could walk on site and tell you whether the job's profitable just by looking how tidy the actual site is. He says it every time. This job will be going real good. That job not so good. And it's like, why? He goes, well, I'll walk on site and I'll see how much rubbish is lying around on the site because he says how you do anything is how you do everything.
Exactly.
And he just spotted things.
And the foreman, how he drives the guys, how he organizes the site. Does he have a site setup checklist, quality assurance checklist, forecast versus labor hours? How well is he controlling that? That's going to be 80% of the success of most projects.
Nice. All right. Number 4, hold standards high.
Yeah. So you don't rise to your goals, you fall to the level of your systems.
Yeah.
So systems require standards. What's a minimum level of performance that we're willingly accepting? And then how do we raise those standards with role plays, training, onboarding, education, and testing to make sure that everyone is performing to the minimum standard.
Yep.
And the minimum standard needs to be raised. And one of the things that helps massively is ABM, always be marketing.
Yeah.
And ABH, always be hiring. So we spend about $5,000 a month on recruiting. So just on ads on Seek, TradeMe, Indeed, and so forth.
Yep.
So we're always looking to build out our bench of great talent.
Yeah.
So that we're not reliant, poor shit, Bob did great work this week, but today he's not on his game.
Yep.
It's hard work. He hasn't got this in on time. And then you're like, well, if there's doubt, there is no doubt.
Yep.
Like if they like this going up and down, then they're not an A-grade player, and you need to coach them up or coach them out.
Yep.
How
do you handle that conversation?
So we have, well, it's very easy with data because all our team have scorecards.
Okay.
So they know what their role is, what tasks they do each and every day, what their KPIs are, and then what their KPAs are. So KPAs are key performance actions. What do they need to produce each week, and what are the actions that drive those results? So we can then see, are you winning? And they'll have one key metric that they'll go, yep, I'm winning. So for a project manager or a foreman, it might be, are you within 5% of your forecast hours? So if you break a job down by stage, it's not just one big 1,000 hours. It might be 10 stages of 100. So it might be, hey, we're halfway through framing. We should be at 50 hours, but we're at 72.
Okay.
Oh, shit. How do we get back 22 hours?
22
Otherwise,
hours.
no one's getting their bonus over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So you're really digging into that data and allowing, those numbers to tell you the performance. And
Exactly.
obviously, some people are going to perform better than others. So you're always hiring. And that's what number 5 was. That was ABH, always be hiring. So for that, because I think I read something around you always, the game's not won in the game, it's won in the draft.
Yeah, so good, right?
Yeah. Oh, I like that. And I want to talk about that. So you said you're constantly, where are you hiring? Are you hiring in New Zealand? Are you hiring overseas? Where are you hiring?
So we have 75 people spread across 9 different countries. So US, Canada, Brazil, Mexico, Philippines, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore. And we hire via, so there's a great book called Who by Jeff Smart, and all the Fortune 100 companies refer to this book. And it's basically, there's 5 key aspects. There's recruiting, hiring, onboarding, 90-day ramp up, and then day-to-day management. So do you have a regular volume of the right kind of people coming into your ecosystem each week that want to work for you? So we recruit through 9 different methods. So we'll put up ads on Seek. We have referral systems. So we'll say, hey, if we're hiring someone, we'll say, hey, we'll pay you $1,000. If you refer someone to come to work with us, you'll get $500 straight up. And then once they pass their 90-day trial, you'll get another $500.
Okay.
And then for C-suite people, CFO, CMO, etc., COO, we'll pay them $2,500. So we're after a higher caliber of person. So that's another one. Going out into Facebook groups. And then obviously you need to have email marketing. Your clients, they'll know truckloads of people. And obviously you need to have a compelling offer. So how's your company different? What are the benefits? So our coaches only work 4 days a week. They don't work Fridays. So that's a very compelling option. We have great flexibility. You can work from, we're in the office 2 days a week in Auckland, Tuesday and Thursday. The rest of the time you can work from home. We don't care if you do 30 hours or 50, as long as you get everything done and you do it to a world-class standard. So I think you then need to drive people somewhere, right? So we have a landing page on the professionalbuilder.com called Careers. And on there, it has a video that's about 2 minutes long that goes, what's it like to work here? Where are we going? And we interviewed 30 of our team around the world and said, what's the number one thing that you like about working here? So then everyone, comes on and goes, great, I get trained. We do world-class workshops. I'm not allowed to go on leave whenever I want. So we have unlimited leave, etc. So I think create that video and then make sure that you're driving traffic to that and that you're always recruiting from people from Facebook groups, online job boards, Seek, Indeed, TradeMe, tiles/referrals out to your database.
Unlimited leave, that's what I heard, because how does that work? And how do you pay people? Are you paid on performance? So if you're on holiday, you're not getting paid?
Yeah. So our Our sales guys kill what they eat.
Nice.
They get paid solely on commission.
Amen.
And one of our 22-year-old closers invoiced 38K last month.
Perfect.
I
Love it.
don't think there's too many 22-year-olds doing that.
I like that.
So we have a rate, depending on the role, people will either be paid as a contractor or they're paid as an employee. In New Zealand, obviously the laws are pretty tight. So we have mainly employees in New Zealand. And then you obviously have to follow the laws. So there's a minimum of 4 weeks holiday in New Zealand. And so you need to have that in your contract, that at least 4 weeks. And the unlimited leave, you want to, because originally we made a mistake of giving people an extra week, like 5 weeks if you've been here a year, 6 weeks if you, and then we end up with this liability on our balance sheet when people would bugger off. And so we stopped that and we said minimum of 4 weeks. And if by joint consensus, you've done your work, it makes sense for you to take a break, you can go away. We don't care. We just want, because that's what founders should be able to do. And we want everyone to think and act like a founder.
I like that. Yeah. And if it's consensus, right? Like, hey, we're going through a period where we really need to dig in. We need you here. But if it's not, then, take the time off. Most motivated people, they will probably still want to make money. They'll want to clean up. So I think it was number 6 was one of my favorites, to be fair, was spend more money on marketing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And all you need to do that is to make sure that you understand your numbers. So 2 key numbers that you need to be tracking are lifetime value. What's a client worth to you? So typically most people stay with us for 2 to 2.5 years. And then what's your CAC? What is your cost of acquisition for a customer? And that'll be different by different channels. So if you're doing radio and you're spending money on that every month and you spent 10 grand a month and you get 10 clients a month from it, then it costs you $1,000 per customer. Maybe on Meta, it might be $250 or it could be $4 grand. So it's just looking at what are all those different channels that you have coming in, what's your cost of acquisition, and then how quickly do you make that money back?
And I think, if you can dial this in, you can actually outmarket competitors who are afraid to spend. And the reason they're afraid to spend because they have no confidence in their marketing machine.
Absolutely.
And look, I think that it's that time in the market too, like learning that, hey, marketing does take time. And I always call it the 90-day nightmare. People come in and go, right, I need leads tomorrow, and if they haven't got leads by tomorrow, they're, well, actually, you got to stop. You got to give yourself some runway. You've got to think of this. Well, what's actually a client worth to me? If I think about it, what's actually a client worth? And do some strategic thinking around that. I always say you need to design your marketing strategy to pick the tactics to produce the results you want. So part of that strategy is digging into those numbers. We're actually just building some really cool calculators that'll be going on our website in a couple of weeks where people can really dial their numbers in and actually have a really good look at what it takes to produce the results from marketing as well. Because here's the thing, your competitors, if they get good at it, they will outmarket you. And all of a sudden, they know what it costs to get someone in the door. They know how to get those people back again and again and again and again. So their lifetime value actually goes up. And then they can just spend more, and they know what channels work. And I think this is really, really important. Someone was talking to me the other day and they were saying about one of the channels got really expensive. And I said, well, compared to what though? Like, if it's not expensive if it's producing. If it's producing business, then it actually could be quite cheap. And they were like, oh, okay, well, we need to go back and really do. So you do need to go back and dig into that because, if you're spending, you say it's, $5 grand's expensive, but it's producing you 3 clients at $5 grand, it's a different way.
The lifetime value of a client's 40K or whatever it is. That makes sense to. So one of the biggest things that I've learned is optimize versus maximize.
Okay.
So for like 18 years, we'd been optimizing. And 2.5 years ago, we decided to maximize. So if the numbers make sense on the front end and your CAG, then spend more. So we about 2 years ago, we were spending 40K a month on online marketing. And we said, okay, we're going to put that up 10 grand every month until something breaks. And inevitably at 60, 70, 80, 100K, something breaks. Is it quality of leads, conversion rate of the sales team? And then you fix that constraint. Okay. But you're creating the vacuum and forcing growth. And last month we spent 260.
Nice.
And so this has allowed us to grow significantly faster, add more value to our members, and be able to hire better talent to help people win faster.
What do you say to someone who's not spending anything though, like or like dipping their toe in at $100 or something like that? You're spending $260K a month. Where did that mindset come from? Was you've built a system around your business, so you can actually start to push those boundaries. And the reason you did it was in those 10K increments. Talk to me a wee bit about that, because people hear this and go, "Oh, that's okay for Marty and his business, but what about my?" And I think I want to get to that mindset part, that the trigger that you decided to, rather than optimize, maximize.
So one is being an environment where other people, so we're in a couple of coaching programs, one in Australia and one in the US.
Yep.
And you see what people are doing at the next level, and you're like, well, if he can do it or she can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah.
And then you figure out, okay, what are they actually doing? Well, they're in a Facebook marketing course, or they've trained their sales team how to sell, or they've got this software. And you're like, oh shit, I should go and do that and get around those people, build those relationships, find out what they're doing that's working well, hire the people to implement those systems, train them, and then dig into, how do I become world class? So I think it starts with a hunger and a desire that you can achieve more, and then going, is this a hobby or a business?
Yeah. I think what you said there is really important. It's a hunger and desire, because if you have that hunger and desire, make no mistake, there's other people out there, because guarantee in the groups that you're in, there's someone spending 500 grand a month, right?
Exactly.
And you're thinking, and that's just the realities of it, right? You're getting around those people that are playing the game at a different level. And I think that's the coolest part about business. And that's why I love the podcast, because we have different people on, stretching people's, how they think and why they do certain things. I think business is the ultimate personal development game.
Oh, it is.
It is. And it stretches you on so many levels, right? Because I'm getting stretched hearing you say you're spending 260K. I think, but I'm also thinking, oh, okay, we could do that.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things that business will really, really stretch you, and you have to challenge yourself mentally. One, to have the hunger and desire, and then, really to put it into action. What I loved about that is you find out, be a detective. Hey, what are they using? Well, actually, we should be using that too. They're using this software. Well, we should use this software. And I think that's the cool part about it. So yeah, great advice here from Marty. Spend more money on marketing.
Exactly. and not just that, but find someone who's world class, who's getting the results that you want. So if you're wanting to work with an agency, then talk to the top 3 agencies, like Scott from Digital Influence, and figure out, cool, well, what do they do? What's their ecosystem? What are the case studies? Are they getting the kind of results that I want for my business?
Yes.
And most people will do like a free intro session, or they'll do an audit of where you're currently at, and they'll work out, well, cool, if you were to apply these strategies, so we get our financials from all our people who want to work with us, and we have about 100 to 200 a week. And then we put their numbers, their profit and loss, through our profit calculator, and we figure out, okay, here are the gaps. And if we were to improve your gross margin from 16 to 20%, we would improve your average dollar sale from 150 to 250, and we would help your conversion rate go from 1 out of 4 to 1 out of 3. Here's what will drop out the bottom. You'll go from making 180K to making 450K.
Yeah.
And then it's like, are you willing to put in the work? Are you comfortable being held accountable each month? And are you coachable?
Yeah. And the clarity is that if they are, their business is going to go, and go on that journey. The cool part about it is you've got other people on that journey with them. I think that's really, really important when business owners are doing things, that they're around other business owners too.
It's huge, right? Like, we're both in different masterminds, and the insights that you get from people will be winning in different areas, and you're like, oh shit, I want to do what they're doing.
Honestly, I sat there 3-4 years ago in Miami, and Matt Platt said, "Oh, start a podcast," and here's why he started a podcast. And I was like, "Oh, start a podcast? What's that about?" And then they had all the training there. So I started a podcast, and now, I know, like, the podcast has been a massive game changer in our business. But the cool part about it, now, like, it just brings in business, but also I get to talk and learn as well at the same time. So, success does leave clues, and it gives you, being around other people, is awesome. Okay, number 7, and I know you got to go. So number 7, soon more to go. Focus on member results. I love this because it's so important.
100%. So the quicker you can help people get to a result, the better. So results times relationships equals retention.
Nice.
So the faster you can help people get results, the better. And the second thing is, what are you doing to build an ecosystem or a community within your business where other members build relationships with your coaches, your other members, your team, so that they get engaged? Because if you have the best business, best program in the world, but people don't use it, or they don't get engaged, or then they're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And they're going to think, well, what value am I getting?
Yeah.
So ensure that you have like a foolproof way to get results, and that you minimize any single points of failure.
Nice.
And then make sure that you are checking in on their numbers regularly. So, for example, we do a game plan with our members. Every building company owner gives us their profit and loss to begin with. We can put it into our profit calculator. We see how much extra money they can make and how they're going versus our members. We then get them to fill in a 7-minute health audit. Goes through 50 questions on sales, team, leadership, systems, etc. And it figures out, great, well, you're great on marketing, you got an 8 out of 10. You're great on sales, you get a 7 out of 10, but your numbers and your pricing are a 3 out of 10. Or maybe your team and your leadership are a 2 out of 10.
Nice. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then they work through a roadmap, and the roadmap basically takes them through whether you're at 1, 3, 5, 12 million plus. How are you going on each particular vertical, and what do you need to do next?
How good. So much gold just in that questionnaire, right? And going through that from a business owner.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things. We do a high performance review. It comes with a report, and people always come in and go, oh, that questionnaire you gave us was amazing.
Yeah.
Like getting people just to think about their business and looking at the areas they're strong and where they're weak. And the beautiful thing about that is, being able to help people in those areas where they're weak. You can really start to raise that business up.
Like we have a wins channel, and we would get 5 to 6 wins every day in our Slack channel from members around the world. And then it's like, great, we interview the best people. We get their templates in their system. So if they're great at getting variations, or if they're great at the sales part of the business, or if they're great on site or hiring apprentices, then we'll interview them, template what's working well for them, and then make it available for all our members, because they're either time poor or they don't know where to start. So we help them with both those.
Love that. That's such a win-win-win too, right? Like how good, like people willing to share that, and also they get the value of other members too. Look, the other one I think we kind of covered was focus on lead indicators that drive results. I actually got something else I just wanted to talk about quickly. AI. What are some of the things you think every business owner should be looking at right now when it comes to AI?
Yeah, well, I mean, where do you begin?
Look, we have probably,
it's like
we have 5 minutes left.
Yeah. So I think your marketing, your customer avatar. So what are their biggest pain points? How can you put out regular content that helps solve those pain points? And AI will help distill that for you. And then how do you put that into different mediums from whatever you're most comfortable with? Is it blog posts, articles, video, audio, podcast, short form, long form? So content, short and long content. And then how do you take your clients and figure out how do we help them get a result quicker? So we use AI for our sales team. So we go back and AI reviews their sales calls, and then we coach them based on that. AI with our members. So we do their financials every month. AI spits out, it's run against our profit calculator and our profit workshops. And it spits out, great, this is where the member is off track. And then our coaches in the one-on-one coaching sessions coach them through how to implement those into their business. So I think AI has a place for sales, marketing, and delivery. And then it's how do you get your team to implement that to get a better result? Because I don't think AI on its own is the solution.
No.
It's AI with someone helping people execute to get a result faster.
Yeah, and also I think every business owner definitely should be looking at it. Look, we have an AI leadership team here. They meet every second Tuesday. Some of the stuff that we're starting to implement is really, really cool. But we're not using AI as the only thing. Like the team are bringing their thought leadership, their wisdom, their knowledge to that game, and going, okay, here's where we can use it. Here's some areas that we can really start to get some wins. I know there's a meeting going on in the other room just now, and we're using AI for one of our clients just to get more. We get a lot of leads, and the AI is just helping follow up.
Yeah,
And making
absolutely.
calls and talking and booking meetings
Exactly.
and stuff. That's 90 odd calls he couldn't make in a week. Now the AI is making it for them
Yeah.
to book qualified meetings. So I think times are changing, which is exciting for business owners, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of people kind of worried about it too. But I think run
Yeah.
towards it.
Exactly. Don't be scared of it. Find someone who's doing it, using it in their business already, or an agency that can help you, and then learn off their experience.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing what you talked about before around, who to choose, and if you're looking to, work with a business coach and a business company, or working with an agency, the best thing you can do is go and talk to the clients.
Mm.
I always say if I really want to work with someone, I'll just hand them my phone. I say, hey, call these guys.
Yeah.
You can use my phone, and I think that's really important. So on that, because I know you've got to go inspire some business owners here in Christchurch. If people want to get involved, if there's a business owner or not a business owner, but a builder here going, man, I'd love to grow my business. I'd love to have some of what Marty's talking about. How do they get hold of you?
So we're all over social media, Instagram, Facebook, The Professional Builder, or they can go to our website, www.theprofessionalbuilder.com. There's a bunch of free resources on there. There's the book that you can get at a bargain price. It's got $3,000 worth of resources.
Nice.
Or if you want to have a chat and see what's possible for your business, book in for a game plan, and one of our growth advisors will go through, look at your numbers, help you figure out where do you want to be, and then what are the strategies to help get you there.
Yeah. So if you've got a bit of a hunger and a bit of a desire to actually take your building company, if you're good at the whacking and cracking, but your business could be just that little bit better, I challenge you to take back yourself and book a call, because you're one conversation away from growing this business into something special. And I would say don't die with the music inside you, because you never know. You get involved with people like yourself, all of a sudden you meet other people that are on the same wavelength, and your business is going to the moon. So
Exactly. You might only be 1 or 2 tweaks away,
Yeah.
or 1 or 2 key hires away from changing your business and your lifestyle massively.
yeah, and that's the coolest part. When business goes good, you feel like you do some stuff, like
Exactly.
travel around and you have some fun, and
Like some toys.
Right, that's what life's about, mate. Right? I know you have a few toys.
Yes.
What's the
yes.
latest purchase?
We're buying a new house, and I'm going to sell my car and get something Italian.
Do you still have the Porsche?
Yes, still got a GT3.
Nice,
But
nice.
time to
All
go
right.
to the other side.
Perfect, Marty. Hey, really appreciate you coming in. I know you're on a time squeeze here, but I know you're going to have a great day today here in the O3 in Christchurch. Hey, look, Marty's delivered. He came here. I messaged him last week. Can you come in? He's come in for the podcast. What I need you to do now is go away and take some action, okay? But also share this podcast. Share it on Instagram. Share it on Facebook, and share it on LinkedIn. Tag us in. What are the number one thing you got from the podcast, and what's something that you're going to take and implement? So, as always, go out there, have fun, take action, and as always, celebrate your victories.